Hi, welcome back to our continuing series, a talk with local author Ray Carey about his book, Democratic Capitalism. I'm Professor Michael Greenwood. I'm business and economics professor here at MWCC Community College. Welcome again, Ray.
Thanks, Mike.
Now, today's topic is referred to as Hypothesis Number 9 in our series of 1 through 10. And you call this one, Money Managers Do Your Job. I was looking over our notes here, and I notice you've made some pretty interesting comments here about this whole notion of stock buybacks. Now, I think for a lot of our viewers, they hear in the news this company has purchased stock, and they find out they're buying their own stock, and it tends to inflate the price of their own stock when they do that. But you have some comments in this area. Would you mind helping us walk through this?
Let me back up just for a minute. I described the universities as an agent of change, but that's long term. That really gets back to our founders saying that the country will depend on the will and the wisdom of the people, filtered by the aristocracy of talent and virtue, if the people are educated for that responsibility. And we covered that one in the last segment. In this segment, it fascinates me because the changes that could be made by the institutional investors would not have a long half-life. They could start doing it tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And you picked on one good example of how the rules are written for the benefit of ultra-capitalism and not democratic capitalism. And I think this gets back to the ERISA and how the finance became dominant. If you look at the distribution of surplus by Mobil in the past year, surplus can be used for 4 reasons. Growth investment, which obviously should be a priority. Dividends.
And you're referring to financial surplus?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's the money they had in their pocket compared to profit, which is an accounting artifice, which may or may not have anything to do with cash. This is like the corner grocer. You know, if he's got more bills in his hat band than he had at the beginning of the year, it was a good year. But at any rate.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Ray. I think our audience can relate to that.
So reinvestment in growth, absolutely priority. Dividends returned to the stockholders are tremendously important. They used to represent 50% of the return of capitalism when the dividends were about 6%. Under ultra-capitalism in the last quarter century, they went down under 1, and they're barely back to 2 now, and for good reasons.
1 and 2, what does that mean, 1 and 2?
I'm sorry. Return where the dividends as a percentage of the total.
The percentage of the total
1% yield.
Oh, 1% yield on average dividend yield.
Right.
Yes.
So if you got a bag of money, you used to get 5% of that, 6% of that coming back to you every year in dividends.
Well, we have companies like Microsoft today with billions of dollars of cash, and yet still don't declare a dividend.
Well, they did declare one, but they're so conditioned that they apologize to do it. Ultra-capitalism has culturally conditioned companies that it's an embarrassment to declare a dividend that's saying, I'm no longer a high-growth company.
Now, why did that happen? Why did dividends fall out of favor?
Very simple reason. Wall Street doesn't make money on dividends. They want you to keep the money in the sock, attracting a takeover.
So what do the widows and orphans do when they're looking for long-term
That's the question. But the other 2 uses of surplus are stock buybacks and non-strategic acquisitions, or more favorably acquisitions. And I think an excellent example in the system is awash in cash. I think 6% dividends would not be hard. We haven't talked about the beauties of the information age, but there's so many good things going on in industry. But with the wrong people writing the rules, Mobil declared their distribution of surplus to be $30 billion in stock buybacks and $7 billion in dividends. Motorola, smaller company, but they're getting a lot of attention from Carey, who was an original takeover guy, and I think he thinks he's got a much prettier image now, but he's now up to about 2.7% of Motorola, and Motorola is paying out $3 billion in stock buybacks, and probably a few $100,000.
$1 billion, that's $1,000 million. Yes. So the mobile chemical company spent $30,000 million of their own money to buy their own stock.
Yes.
How can our viewers reconcile that? Why would a company buy their own stock? What's the benefit?
It's to hype the stock price and to improve the stock options. The defenders will claim that the wage earner is benefiting, but the wage earner may be looking for that money 20 years from now. And in the meantime, the companies are trading in future programs for present earnings, and sometime in the very near future, the baby boomers are going to start selling stock to live on instead of buying stock. So you got a big shift in the buy-sell equation in the stock market.
When do you